Worldwide movement, peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq right back at you, hollering one more again. All right, so this is a conclusion to the video, what living 5D really is. All right, so we left off, and picking up where we left off, we were talking about our vibrational frequency and how that comes into play in all this, right? So by tuning our vibrational frequency resonance, we are able to control our dimensional perception, right? So in previous videos, I talked about different ways that we can control what our vibrational frequency is, right? The very first thing, which is paramount, is understanding and always being aware of and cognizant of your mental and emotional states, right? Because your mental and emotional states is what dictates what your biosphere, which is your electromagnetic energetic sphere, right? That you are constantly emitting this energy from you, right? That biosphere is essentially a reflection, an energetic reflection of your mental and emotional states, right? So by being aware and cognizant of your mental and emotional states, right, and the different stimuli that impact your mental and emotional states, you can then control what your emotional and mental states are. This is not an overnight process. This is something that you have to teach and train yourself to do, right? To always be aware of what your emotional state is. Always be aware and cognizant of what your mental state is, right? And then to also, as you live your day, be perceiving and understanding what stimuli, what things are impacting that, right? And then you find that in that analysis, you gain the ability to control how you respond, right? And in that control, you maintain and gain, perhaps, right, the ability to control, again, your mental and emotional states, thus giving you the ability to control your vibrational frequency. Now, when you do that, you're able to set yourself at a resonance, right? And by doing that, you are able to then impact and control your dimensional perception. Remember, what separates the dimensions is a vibrational frequency threshold, right? Let's put it simply by saying, for example, right? This is just an example, that the third dimension is when something is vibrating from 400 megahertz to 750 megahertz. This is just an example. I'm throwing these numbers out, right? That range, right, is the actual dimension that you would be able to perceive. And what separates that dimension or one dimension from the next is that threshold. Once you cross that threshold, let's say, for example, as we were giving 750 megahertz, right, you would cross the threshold into a different dimension, right? So as multi-dimensional beings, you already exist, not just in the third dimension, not just in the fourth or fifth dimension. You exist in many dimensions, right? It's merely your perception of your own existence in different dimensional states that you're controlling and changing, right? So this is all scientific and very measurable, right? This is something that's not, you know, a revelation I'm making. I'm just relaying it to you, right? You don't have to take my word for any of this, right? Just open your mind up to quantum mechanics and different aspects of metaphysics and other more mundane schools of science, right? And you can find ways in which you can measure this scientifically, right? So this is something that everyone is very much able to do if you simply do your own research, your own free-thinking research, and apply the science to it, right? Apply the discipline to it, the self-discipline, for you to be able to control your own mental and emotional states, to be able to regulate what your vibrational frequency is, right? Thus giving you control over your dimensional perception. Because as you elevate, or decrease for that matter, your vibrational frequency resonance, you're then changing or altering your dimensional perception, right? And that's what gives you the ability to live, exist, and perceive yourself in any dimensional state, right? Including a fifth dimensional state. But again, this is not an overnight process. This is something that one has to discipline yourself to do. But everyone is certainly capable of doing that. And with all the changes energetically on this planet, we're finding that more and more people are going through a spiritual awakening that is getting them to a place that is enabling them to do this, right? It's simply about, again, knowing thyself and applying these disciplines and sciences. So we're all fully capable of doing this. There are certainly, all right, I want to reiterate that for some of the individuals who may be a little confused on this. There are certainly individuals who are walking around on this planet fully visible to us, right? Who are living a fifth dimensional existence, because they are able to fully perceive not only their third dimensional or fourth dimensional selves, but their fifth dimensional self, and live a lifestyle, in fact, that is reflective of their fifth dimensional existence. That's living 5D, right? So understand that, you know, what we're talking about when we're understanding what living 5D really is. I understand where the confusion came from, right, or comes from, because if you have, you know, an individual who is living in a third dimensional state, and an object, let's say, that is resonating in terms of its vibrational frequency at a fifth dimensional rate, or a fifth dimensional state of being or vibrational frequency within that threshold, all right? That individual will not see that object because they're not able to perceive anything that is only perceivable in a fourth or fifth dimensional state, which may be beyond the vibrational frequency state that they're able to perceive. Now, when you see another person who is vibrating and who is controlling their vibrational frequency resonance to a point that they are living and existing in a fifth dimensional vibrational frequency state themselves, and that they are experiencing a fifth dimensional existence. When you see that person, if you're only able to perceive up to a third or fourth dimensional vibrational frequency, then you're only seeing their third or fourth dimensional aspects. You're not able to perceive their fifth dimensional version of themselves, right? So they wouldn't disappear. You simply wouldn't be able to perceive that aspect of them. I hope that clears that up a little bit, right? But yeah, I hope that this was helpful. I wanted to bring conclusion to that video and sort of wrap all this up. And again, this is exciting as the energies on this planet are changing, as the Schumann resonance continues to spike and plateau higher and higher, as the vibrational frequency resonance of this planet is indeed raising to a point that it is changing and surpassing thresholds, right? and thus the vibrational frequency of the planet entirely may change and may remain multidimensional, or may only be perceivable from a fifth dimensional state and beyond. You know, we'll see, right? We'll see, but it's all exciting for those who are going through a spiritual awakening that is getting them to a place where they are on their journey to ascend, right? This is very exciting, very exciting. So let's embrace this. Let's embrace each other. Again, remember unity consciousness, right? Over separation mentality. Let's always choose love over fear, right? And let's celebrate this time, man. I wake up every day literally in celebration, literally. And I don't have much. In terms of physical possessions, I don't have much, right? That'll likely soon change. But what's important, because that's certainly not, material things are not important to me. What's important is how we live our lives, right? Folks, I guarantee you, the richest people on this planet are the happiest people on this planet, regardless of what they have in terms of materialistic things, possessions, or concepts that they're holding on to, right? Or not holding on to. Be rich within yourself, and true happiness gives you that true wealth, right? So, all right, I'm gonna leave you all on that. I love you all. I thank you all so much. Once again, Big King Sadiq hollering at your worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. It's beautiful. I'm out.